Can't believe it took me this long to get to Miles Edgeworth. What's it been? So it's Attorney 1, Ace Attorney 2, Ace Attorney 3, Apollo Justice. Those 4 games alone took me a decade to get through. And there's still loads more games after this, so I'll be playing these games to my deathbed. Just fine by me. Oh, fuck. Always have the sound too high. Alright, so we're playing as Miles Edgeworth now, the prosecutor. This will be interesting, turning things on its head, prosecuting instead of defending. You know what? Maybe it's now. Maybe now's a good time to be playing this. What with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case going on. Let's see if we can find some similarities between the chaos that goes in this game. Hello, the Four Fox. Nice webcam. It's the same one I always use. Just a bit stretched because there's more space this time. Okay, we've got 2 shadowy figures. Neither of them are Miles Edgeworth. Who is that? Feels like a higher resolution. It is, because I set the resolution higher so that it will be bigger. Normally I set the resolution lower to like 320 something because it's a smaller space. Oh, and I got this thing poking me in the head. Oh, no, it's reversed. Have you played any of these games, by the way? We have a prodigy among us. Ah, are they referring to Miles? Whoa, we've got a walking sprite now. Whoa, they've upgraded the tech. Alright, is my voice audible over the music? Because it's quite loud, actually, this DS emulator. What the heck? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Frame drop. Miles Edgeworth. Oh, what does he sound like? He's probably a very posh, probably a British accent. I don't know. I think anyone who wears that collar is probably has a British accent, even if they're American, because he's American, so. I think this is set in California. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe, Detective Gumshoe is back, that's nice, has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? Wait, does blood have a smell? I mean, it probably does in large quantities, but that's quite worrying if it's such a familiar smell to him. Prosecutors don't normally go near the blood, that's not their job. I can't believe this game has walking animations now. What? What's the... Well, there isn't that much blood. What's the meaning of this? You don't know what blood smells like? No. I know what it tastes like. Why would I know what it smells like? Like, it doesn't emit much of a smell, does it? If it does, I've not noticed, to be honest. I mean, maybe if you hold it... Why is the game doing that? I don't know. Maybe I need to... I'll have to... If it keeps happening, I might reduce the resolution. But if you hold the blood right up to your nose, maybe I can believe, but... Let me turn down the OpenGL scaler here. There we go. Freeze! Oh no. Have we been framed? Are we gonna be defended? Identify yourself. ... Shut up! You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? Wow, imagine not having stabbed someone. You're such a rookie. Yeah, well... I haven't really spent enough time in America, clearly. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. I think it's implied that the Edgeworth family is actually German, or originates from Germany. I'm not sure. Doesn't he have a brother in Apollo Justice who's actually has a full-on German accent? I can't remember now. Nah, in America we just shoot people. UK is with it. I suppose, yeah. America, the Brits like to get nice, close and personal. That's the style here. I meant more, when I said that, I meant more that these games are set in America where it seems murder just happens around every corner. Regardless of what weapon was used. Americans aren't allowed to have knives, too dangerous. I can't comment on that, that might be true. But I think quite a few victims in these games do actually get killed by knives, actually. One got killed by a samurai sword. But then, of course, this is not actually set in America, it's set in a fictional place which is kind of a combination of Japan and California. It's like a lot of these anime games, the writers have this fantasy of this future where Japan has taken over the world, and in particular lots of Japanese people have gone to California and taken over California. So this is what it would be like if Japan merged into California, basically. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue investigation. Yes, sir. Duster, duster, duster. Look at the way he dusts. Oh, is this game gonna have me blow like into the microphone to blow fingerprint dust away like the last game did? I had to configure settings on my emulator just so I could blow in the actual microphone, because I actually had to blow into my microphone for it to work. I couldn't proceed without blowing into the microphone. Fallout did it first. Fallout did what first? What did I say earlier? What are you referring to there? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime. Oh, this is Gumshoe. He always has plasters on his face. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran out to Pierre straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He is a detective with the local precinct. And the one they assigned to handle the murder case for this time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Are they not more concerned about the body? Are they not going to call an ambulance? Like, what? The painting is more important than the person over here? Whoa, sounds like you're really getting burned up over this whole thing. They're not even going to take a pulse or something? Like, you could be alive. Oh yeah, this is America, where ambulances cost tens of thousands of dollars. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Ho, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Oh, he doesn't actually keep a physical dossier like Phoenix does. He actually keeps everything in his head. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Logic! I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering about that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First, I recall information through the logic button and then connect them together with my big powerful brain. So we want to connect the office to the office key. Connect. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. So his secret strategy is to make shit up? The thing is, in the first Ace Attorney games, he kind of was. Well, he never lied in court, but he did misdirect quite a lot, to the point that he was almost lying. But then he kind of got better, because Phoenix, when he lost his first case against Phoenix, he had a kind of turnabout, and then he started being a bit more honest and less deceptive. So for most of his cases he was actually pretty honest. I mean, he did stick to the facts, and when he was beaten, and he was often beaten because we were the ones playing. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Logic. You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you followed leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. Too true, too true. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. Oh, that's my health meter. Ugh. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. The health meter annoys me sometimes, because if you die from getting things wrong, you basically have to start the whole chapter again, or the whole sequence again, which is annoying. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button. Oh, the what button? It's breaking the fourth wall here. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Oh wow, you can actually walk around. Look at this upgrade in tech from the previous games. Just talk to this guy. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes sir, nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. Wait, what? What's he referring to? Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. Oh, it's because he's referring to the gun. Okay, let's look at the gun then. Like, this is so wrong. Lawyers are not meant to interfere with crime scenes. Only police are. This is so... The body, man. You're supposed to get a doctor to pronounce the time of death before you can do anything with the body. And confirm the death, because they have to run all kinds of tests and stuff to check. Because a lot of the time they're still alive, even if they don't seem to have a pulse. What have we here? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. That it is. That it is. Where you can have parrots testifying in court as a witness. Yeah. The parrot scene was hilarious. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. Why was issued the exact same model? I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. Finally, someone with some sense here. Bit ironic that it happens to be the lead police detective, but now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. Is that telling us it's a detective that did this? I mean, in the intro, the sneak peek in the intro, it seems like it was a prosecutor doing the killing, and I had another frame drop. That's annoying. It's not that often though, so I'm not worried too much. How can guns be so dangerous if they're so much fun to play with? I wouldn't know. Never played with one. So this is a chessboard. Interesting. Oh, I would have liked to play some chess in the game as a mini game. Yes, Gumshoe. I had no idea you were interested in chess. Miles Edgeworth does strike me as someone who would play chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve the case. You haven't shot anyone either. Bro, okay, good. Well, I mean, like I said, it's UK. Like, good luck getting hold of a gun here. Oh wow, that was a bit of a cheeky remark by Miles there. He automatically assumes that Gumshoe would be crap at chess. Alright, I'm going to turn the video settings down a bit. Seems like it's working really hard to upscale this. Okay, we'll go with that. Actually, that's alright. Oh, it's your trophy. The Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors, and it's not a trophy, it's a shield. What, because he's like prosecuted the most people or something? Alright, let's have a look at what's going on. No, did we look at the body? Let's have a look at the body. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. Or maybe they did check the body before, I don't know. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Right, let's check for his nooks and crannies. Well, there's a wallet. Last thing you thought to check was the body. What's the second thing? I checked the gun. The body really shouldn't be here though. They should be taking him to either a hospital or morgue. And have the mortician do the investigation. Oh hey, I have the exact same thing actually. What a coincidence. Ah, so the clues are pointing to this possibly being someone either being a detective or acting as a detective. Oh, the guy who died is the detective. That might be his gun then. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Well, there's more things to examine here. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Okay, there was a struggle. That's important. Gumshoe is he's such a slave. What was the woman's name who was the prosecutor in the previous games? I can't remember. Von Karma or something. No, not Von Karma. The one with the lady with the whip. She worked him so hard, making him carry all her things and cleaning everything, and didn't even buy food for him. Does he have a life? What? You're the one forcing him to do this stuff, Edgeworth. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Damn, that's a painful way to go. From a stomach wound. Yup, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. We'll get started on the autopsy now then. Please have the bodies sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. In my huge brain. Oh, so he does have an organizer. Okay, not important. So we got organizer, we got prosecutor's badge. Of course, you always have a badge. And you always have to show the badge to everyone. And it never does anything. Or sometimes they put in like a funny piece of dialogue or something because they know people keep showing the badge to everyone. The body was found at around 2 a.m., 2:05 a.m. Always keep note of the times. The times are always important in the court cases. Logic. Should we have a look at the logic? Did you know I'm a prosecutor? Wait, are you serious? Are you saying you're a prosecutor? Is this something? Is this something you told me before? I can't remember. I think this one, victim was a detective, and this one, revolver, are connected. No, I'm making fun of the badge. Oh, okay. I mean, it was plausible. Like, anyone could be a prosecutor. It's a very common job. Okay, I think these are connected. Let's connect these two. Connect. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Would it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Is he saying excuse me to the corpse? I suppose it is polite. Even if they're dead. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. As I always say, you've got to look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate blah blah blah. This is meta stuff. We're not supposed to hear this. Here it's got a trigger. The clicky thingy. That's the extent to which I understand gun terminology. I figured it out. This was a suicide. How could it have been? Because Edgeworth saw a guy in the room, in addition to the body. Unless that guy didn't actually shoot the body, it's possible that the victim shot himself and then that guy took a gun or something. I don't know. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Yes, Gumshoe, yes, that's the spirit. We need more police like you in America. There's an inscription here. Apparently that's not important. It's like a horse. Ah, how many guns in the chamber? Looks like only one round was fired from this. So the interesting thing I saw on a YouTube video, I think it was QI a couple of weeks ago, but actually this is the normal state for a revolver. Normally you keep one chamber empty. Reason being, there's no proper safety, or the safety catches are unreliable on revolvers, so you always set it to the empty chamber when you don't want it to accidentally fire off. So if you were to find a revolver with one bullet missing, that's more than likely that that was never fired. That's just the default state. Guess I forgot every cop I know runs around shooting everyone on sight. Well, I mean, they may not be shooting everyone on sight, but they are a bit trigger happy, or at least the ones who don't have proper training in guns are a bit trigger happy. I mean, I would be okay with police carrying guns if they were actually trained to use them, to the level of like, I don't know, to the level of like SWAT teams. But in America, they're not. In the UK, we have special units that are trained to use firearms. The police don't have them. So if anything happens that needs gunned, armed police, they call for the special guys, the special forces. Hello, Bad for Beans. But it's not missing a bullet, it's missing a cap. What, I don't know, what's a cap? Is that is that the term? Is it not a bullet? You can see the cartridge in the chamber. Oh! I see. That's the cartridge. Okay, that's interesting. Then I take back what I said then. Wow, so the killer killed a Vic? What's Vic? Is that an I? V-I-C. I don't know what V-I-C is. With just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to Aldrim. Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? Who let this guy in? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone, just let me be! Short for victim, huh? Is that really a shortened form people use? I've never heard that. I mean, I've never heard that in American dramas, but... Sorry, but I can't do that. Also, get out of this room, you're not allowed in here. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. Is that it, Edgeworth? Get these police officers to escort him out. Oh. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure. Just in a bloodstained suit, pal. This guy looks oddly familiar, but he's probably not. He just looks like you take a bunch of characters from the previous games and mash them together and you get this guy. He's got a bit of Phoenix style hair going on. Is he an athlete? And he just walks around wearing a gold medal all the time? Oh, but there's a character limit. Oh, okay. Aren't you that prosecutor? Oh, this is a prosecutor? What is he wearing? Why, yes I am. I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Is he French? I can't do a French accent. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. Yeah, I recognize him from the intro. But I'm just saying, like, now that we're looking at him, he does look... He has a weird familiarity with it. I wouldn't be surprised if they reveal, like, he's the cousin of someone we know. Even Phoenix or someone. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So, you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. So if I remember correctly, this spiky hair guy was the one who was saying he'll do whatever it takes to get a guilty verdict. Something along those lines. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. My prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Where? Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip the whole time, pal. Well, we were... But we got back now, so it's possible for us to have killed the body, surely. We don't have an autopsy report for when the body actually died. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Oh, Gumshoe, you fool. Oh, wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You've got it wrong. Everyone calm down. Exclamation mark. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? This guy was a friend of Jim, so there's a bit of a conflict of interest here. Well, it depends. Is this guy going to be on the case? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor, who stores everything in his big brain instead of a portfolio. You're something of a legend, you know? Not to mention the body was probably there for a long time, considering the only real way to kill someone with a shot to the abdomen is to let them bleed out. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because that's... Don't they go through a pretty long, painful death that way? But then, surely they were not fully incapacitated. If they just had a bleeding abdomen, it'd be feasible that they get up and call the grab that phone on the desk there or something. Or at least whoever shot them couldn't be 100% sure that they wouldn't be able to escape and get to the hospital in time. But anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on, then. It's your room, after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. It's possible they were dead before they were shot. True. That does happen in these games. That's why we really need that autopsy report. You there. So, man, I can't believe they're walking. This is blowing my mind. I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. You can't just make videos for YouTube here? What? Okay, whatever. Okay, I want to look at this painting then. I'm gonna have to downscale it next time I set up the stream because it's apparently every now and then it's struggling to emulate. Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? Oh, you silly Gumshoe. It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? It's a hard word to pronounce. What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. I thought it was like a jacket affixed to a painting, but it's literally just a framed jacket. So, one bullet was fired at the frame. That accounts for... So that means that... Well, okay. 2 bullets were fired in this room, but only 1 was missing from the chambers, so... That's the contradiction. How do I phrase that? I'm starting to sound like him. Him! The one who defeated me for the first time. The one whose name I shall never speak. Frame jacket makes more sense than a painting of jacket. Yeah. Does it? Maybe. It seems to be on these scenes that the frame rate drops. That's weird. First, I have to find the spot that was the contradiction. Present it to whom? Alright. It's contradicting the only 1 shot fired. Well, it's not contradicting the fact that only 1 shot was fired. Oh, but it is contradicting these 2 sentences together. and believed to be the murder weapon. So yeah. He says Eureka instead of hold it. This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. Oh. Copying Sherlock Holmes from the TV show. 2 shots were fired in this room. He's a bit more like Sherlock Holmes, isn't he? It's kind of annoying. He's kind of British, even though he's not British, but I feel like he's British. So he was shot either from behind or moved after having been shot. I don't see why he would have why that would mean he would have to be shot from behind. You mean that might be the same bullet? It went through his stomach and into the wall? But I mean, Edgeworth was in the room. He saw that bullet being fired, didn't he? So, the first felt the victim. The second felt this frame. Hey, that's right! It's possible. Guess that's... Well, we'll find out when we gather more evidence. However, this gun was only fired once. Well, they need to find the bullet, don't they? So he... Could be another gun. So I can't remember, did they say something about the bullet that went through the stomach being found, or... What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Oh, that. It's a secret safe. Yeah, I was thinking that looked like a little compartment there. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. Now spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Roger, roger. Oh, are we gonna dust it? Oh no, I better get my mic prepared. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. Well, it's good that it's dusty, isn't it? Because it might have fingerprints on. But I don't think anyone interfered with the safe, but we'll find out. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now? Nothing. Star Wars nerd. Roger, 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 roger. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. It's so wrong. Evidence is... I don't know where evidence is supposed to be held. Probably in the police precinct. But certainly not in the lawyer's office. Well, that's it. Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Oh, someone's actually cleaned it recently? You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. Okay. Somebody has... I should open it then. What if they put something in there? Like the second gun? He's saying we can make a connection now? What was the killer after? I think these two are connected. The killer's goal and wiped fingerprints. Because he was after what was in the safe. I believe I have figured out what the murderer is after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. But there wasn't anything in the safe, so they believed something to be in the safe. Changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. So maybe the files are not a sign of a struggle. Maybe the files are because he was rummaging through the files. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm going to show files like you've never seen before, even at the library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. Except they did several times in the previous games through the channeling of the mediums. Maya and we need to call Maya in so she could channel the dead. Like, think how many cases would be solved just because Maya is able to tell us what the dead say. But they never admit it as evidence, even when the deceased person is standing right there in the courtroom. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? And how do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. He's the one tidying up all the time. I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Gumshoe, you're in the wrong line of work then. But you know I'm no good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. So why is there blood on... Oh! Is that where the bullet is? Okay, so we've confirmed there's two bullets. Two separate bullets. Indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Why? Oh, of course, because they were on the shelf. And they weren't on the shelf after, okay. Then I guess the victim was moved, because he was in the killer's way. Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. Okay. There's 2 more handprints on the floor. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. Wonder if they found what they were looking for. The folders are here, but there could be files missing. Can he... Well, they didn't find what they were looking for, because then they went to the safe. Contradiction? No, I don't have a contradiction. No. But logic, I think 2 might be connected. Oh, he's only got this here. Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here? Is that a contradiction? No, it's not contradicting. Wait, so deduce is when you contradict a piece of evidence. So what if this hole... Also, how do I move the... It's not that spot, though. That spot. Is that a contradiction to the gun? I mean, we've kind of already pointed this out, but... But maybe this is still a contradiction. No, no. Whoops, okay, fine. Maybe there's more stuff in the room to look at. Can only be bought in England. So he has visited England. Someone sending him flowers every month? Wendy! Wendy Oldbag? The old lady? Oh yeah, she had a crush on him, didn't she? What's on the floor here? Oh no, that's the teacup fragments, okay. Is that not evidence? Uh-oh. Oh no, he cleaned it. Thought he was implying the murderer cleaned it. Can I open the drawers? Can I go through into the hallway? I don't think so. I think I... Okay, let's talk to him. Oh, Jim, you'll laugh, you'll smile. I'll never be able to joke around with you again. But don't you worry, Jim. I'll joke around enough for the both of us. You'll see. Yeah, he shouldn't be in here. Let's have a talk with Gumshoe. I should hope so, because he's the one that's supposed to be doing the investigation, not the lawyer. Deductive reasonable. Yeah, why are you telling me this, Gumshoe? I know how to do my job. The relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. Very poetic. Did I ever... let me have another look at the gun, because... okay, so this we got is a photo. Fine. Was there anything else about this gun we didn't look at? No, I don't think so. Okay. This guy... Okay, fine. Whoops. Oh, I pressed shift. Could there be another gun in play here? We need to resolve that thought, don't we? So there's one gun here. Where could the gun be? In the safe, maybe? I mean, the guy... Alright, I don't see anything else we can do but try to find something about this scene here. I don't think I've finished here. Certain there's something wrong with this picture. Oh, yeah, I see what's wrong with this picture. That's not where his stomach is. His stomach would be here. Or somewhere further up. So that is a contradiction to the crime scene notes. Because they went through, because the abdomen. There is clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mind, detective. How did he reach the status of detective? In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of the files is my first thought. Because the position of the handprints, that's... I mean, they're right there in front of us, so that's indisputable. The position of the body is what Edgeworth just said. It would be contradicting the fact that the handprints are there. So order of the files. The labels are wrong? Did the murderer actually tamper with the labels so that we'd end up putting them like this? Or... What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? Well, you're the one that put them there, Gumshoe. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are in order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Oh, wait, what? So the killer arranged them, then shot, then ransacked the folders after the guy was shot? But why did he arrange them the first time? If you please, Detective Gumshoe. Okay, for a moment I thought he had no head. That was a bit worrying. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first, before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim. Why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? That's what I'm thinking. Puzzling indeed. The files are thrown into disarray twice. Once before and once after the crime, but why? Maybe there were two people that each separately ransacked the files. What is that? It says Gumshoe upside down, and there's a missing file. Why doesn't it say Gumshoe on there in blood? Is this the guy's dying action to write the word Gumshoe? Oh no. I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Alright, I don't trust Portsman now. He seems too ready to jump onto opportunities like this. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. Oh wait, there's got to be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something please, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. This most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Oh, this is what the court case is going to be, isn't it? He's going to try and take Gumshoe down. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? Well, we don't know that Jim wrote it. Like, it'd be so easy for the murderer to just go up to him, take his blood and write Gumshoe. Easier for the murderer than it would be for Jim himself. Especially as they're upside down. Yeah, it's upside down. How would he be able to write it upside down? So the killer must have written it before he ransacked the folders, then put them back upside down by mistake. Got it. This is like a mini court case now. There is something strange about this man's attitude, yes, and he shouldn't be in this room. This is my office. What? And there's a crime scene. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. Well, it's not a court, so... Can you explain it to me, sir? It's probably not going to tell me anything I don't already know, but let's just listen anyway. Alright. Round 2. Fight! Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you'll be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I could hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. What? Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut, butter and jam? Well, I'm not of the opinion that peanut butter and jam go together at all. Have I even ever had peanut butter and jam together? No. I might have tried it once, but yeah, not my cup of tea. But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jacques and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Well, can we stop calling him Jim then? Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. What? Talks about the victim like he was his pet. Yeah, this is weird. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. Well, we know that's false, but do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? Dishevel? I don't know the word dishevel. That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. What is it? Murder, theft? You're the one making accusations here. It's a possibility. Well, can you add that to the testimony then, please? That bit's probably true, actually. Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive too, no? That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Is that a contradiction? It was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Because the body was getting in his way, he had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? But he would have noticed them when he put them back on the shelf. What? Okay. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. Well, because they're upside down. Something's weird about those letters, like... Uh... What do I think the contradiction is, though? First of all, I mean, there's two issues I have with this. One, it's upside down. So he wrote the word. The order of events here is so confusing. So he wrote this. No. Okay, the contradiction here is that he stole a folder. So if he stole the folder, he would have noticed it because he'd be looking at the folder when he took it. That's the contradiction, surely. So is this photo the contradiction? Looks like we're onto something good. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsmouth, that there is a serious flaw in your logic. Yeah, bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd. That a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. Haha, haha. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsmouth? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. Unless the lights were off and it was dark. But then he wouldn't be able to see the label on the file, so... It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. But then he wouldn't have... I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective name where the file should be is proof. Should be is proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Good point. Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. But, look, I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsmouth? Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Meh, you win some, you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? Well, that would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Well, he didn't really. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Is he going to say that Edgeworth is the criminal? Stop doing that with your jacket. Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Oh no, don't tell me it's old bag. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't. Okay, it's not old bag. I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Oh, I can't remember who she is. Is she... She looks familiar, but I don't remember. Maggie! Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see. And your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me, that's right, I did it. No, Gumshoe, you idiot. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed that crime, and for one simple reason. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then. This is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else, other than Miss Bird, who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsmouth to give me more details is to press him. Let me have a look at that key. Alright, let's press him on this one. Because there must be more ways that someone else could get into the room. You saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I'll have you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest someone like you would. Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? I mean, she might not have had the key on her person. Maybe someone stole the key. There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? It's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What? This is so related. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. I can't trust you not to tell lies. Are you kidding? Of course I want to hear more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I will be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. What's testimony? Testimony is testimony. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Ah, a likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? That's... She doesn't have to prove anything. You're the one... Oh, whatever. I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. Well, if that were true, then she wouldn't be able to get in anyway, because she lost it. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. But it is a pretty important piece of testimony. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that? It was theft? Where's the gun then? Where's the murder weapon? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. Her intent? From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. But then why would she have a gun on her? I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? Stop taking your jacket off and putting it on. It's really, really annoying. Okay, so I think this new piece of testimony here. Her intent, from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. What does that contradict? So which bullet was... Which of the two bullets came from this gun? We don't actually know. I mean, this agrees with him. Issued by to the victim and believed to be the murder weapon. Only one shot fired. What do I think is wrong with what he's saying? Okay, there's one more piece of testimony that I didn't press. I did this already. Yeah, is a good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. Aww. Everyone's so harsh to Gumshoe. It's getting cold. Hogwash. Alright, well, I mean, clearly they want us to do something with this piece of evidence, this piece of testimony here. I'm not seeing exactly what the contradiction is, though. Okay, so her intent. He's saying her intent was theft. But we agree with that. We think... that it was theft and the guy just got in the way. But is this a contradiction that this guy was killed? That was actually murder, not theft? But it's not... Okay, this is not... This agrees with us. I'm not sure. Is this a contradiction? No. Is it? Damn it. What? Yeah, so I've done all the pressing. What does he say when I press this again? However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe... No. I understand. I think it's this piece of testimony, but what is the contradiction? Shelves? I've done safe. What about the gun? Is this right? But what? Why? If her intent was theft, then why did she kill the guy? That's the contradiction. But it might have just been he got in the way or something. I don't know. Damn it, it's not that? What? Well, what else is there? So that's an agreement with him. Wait. Only they know of them. Only the prosecutors know about the safes. Ah. Do you wish to continue insist? To be fair, though, if I walk into a room and there's a big frame on the wall, and it's a prosecutor's office, I wouldn't be too surprised if there was a safe behind it, so I would probably check if I was intent on stealing something. Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? No, what have we done? We've dug ourselves into a hole. And this is going to go to court, isn't it? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? You can see the gears turning in his brain. Curses, why? What made you? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? So maybe Jim was doing the thievery and then someone shot him? And then that person took the file? So they were those two people were after two different things? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Okay. It's called secret for a reason. And that means... Yeah, I know. I'd only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it. But the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Yeah, but then how would Jim get in? Jim didn't have a key. I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. The killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? But the gun was fired by the murderer. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? Okay. He stole the key, but then how did Bird get in? Well, I guess he had the door open. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. He was assigned to this case? He seemed so inept, or at least, I don't know, he just seemed like he wasn't focused. But sir... We have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now. Aha, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I would be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? To be continued. Right. Probably play through one more scene. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. What is this on the floor? It's basketball. Why is there basketball in the hallway? Why is there a basketball net in the hallway? What? Okay. Let me guess. It's Portsmouth's room. Oh, look, this guy is still practicing. That's the first prosecutor we ever encounter in the whole series. £154. I don't know how much that is in kg. There's a box under there. Wow. It's the file. The page is missing. What are these O files about, sir? Let me guess, they're cases from past games. The High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. Von Karma? Or just some other prosecutor? Okay. Logic. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Where else can we go? Have a look at the door. Ooh, has someone been swapping numbers about? Was someone going to this room because the numbers have been swapped? And that's why I didn't find anything in the safe? Or couldn't open the safe? Wait a minute. Who do we know who was wearing gloves? Portsman. Is there nothing more he wants to say about these numbers? Okay. Talk to Bird. She's got the, what's that called? The blue, the jolly something. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Her eyes are slowing the game down. Present. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 AM. So after Miles Edgeworth was in the room and actually saw talked to the murderer. Hey, are they not taking that into account? Miles actually talked to the murderer. And it clearly wasn't Bird, but I guess why aren't they taking Miles's testimony into account? He's not accusing Miles. 1 AM to 2:30 AM. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. Why did you use it? Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. Okay. Why did you use the key? Who? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. Of course it was. Ah. Let's ask about her first. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my... Oh my god. No way you're surviving that. This is the least of your worries. This is nothing. Why would you become a security guard when you're that prone to disasters? I mean, is there even a case yet? She hasn't been formally arrested or anything. It was around 12 AM. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. That's when you loaned the master key to him? No way, it's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. And then? What happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was about 1:30 AM, I think. So Portsman set this up because he wanted the key to be stealable. You used the master key twice. Well, once. We're not accusing her of using it the second time. Anything else we want to present to her? Oh, the badge. Damn straight. Alright then, let's check out the door. Oh my god. No, it's worse than that. Portsman swapped the numbers. And then asked the security guard to open Edgeworth's door. Huh. Interesting. Door is locked tight. Okay. Anything else about this door? The basketball hoop. Oh, did he move the basketball hoop? To make it look like his office was the other one when he swapped the numbers. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. What else can we do? Touch. Just stand next to her and touch her to talk. Yeah, why does it slow down like that? Okay. I think we should be presenting more stuff to them. Of instant noodle cuisine. Sick burn. Arrows, what are you talking about? Stop breaking the fourth wall. Don't! Stop talking about the cursor. There's no cursor. Shut up. What does he have to say about this? Fallen Thespian, hi. Have you played these games before? I think I might have recommended it to you at one time because I was saying that it's actually quite a good, like, theatrical game. It's, in fact, it's quite. There's even they actually do a play of this. I think in Japan. There's actually like a. There's actually a proper. I think it's a musical. But this is like the 5th game. The first 3 games are the Ace Attorney trilogy, and then there's Apollo Justice, and there's this one where you're the prosecutor. And then there's loads more that I haven't played yet. But yeah, the courtroom scenes are so entertaining. Like, you get all sorts of wacky characters on the stand, and then all sorts of people that you can do voices for. And then when you break them down, they always have like a different breakdown scene where they start sweating and then they collapse. It's really funny. I feel like there's something on this door I haven't checked out yet. So I reckon somebody swapped the numbers on these doors and moved the basketball hoop to make it look like this door was that door. But I don't see any evidence. I mean, if somebody dragged that basketball stand, it probably would have left a mark on the carpet, wouldn't it? Well, let's talk to this lady. In this game, they've introduced walking. Like, you couldn't walk in the first games. It's just like you would click an arrow at the top or on the left of the screen, and then you just move to the next area. Now you can actually walk about. What would I present to her? I mean, if she wasn't involved in the crime, then none of this is of any relevance to her. She doesn't know about the safe. Yeah, the only thing she knows about is the keys, so we can leave her alone. Here we are. So we think Master Key was stolen and used the Master Key were related. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the Master Key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around that very time that I realized the Master Key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. Is that a gun? She has a gun? Well, yeah, I mean, it's America. I guess that's not unusual for a security guard to have a gun. I couldn't just admit to losing the Master Key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. What? Okay. This is not going to look good in court. Yeah, I used my house key. I made it look like I was locking up, sir. Oh no, Bird, what have you done? So, in actuality, you never did relock the door then? Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. So his door's open, so we could sneak in. Let's do that. Can we? No. How? The juice. Contradiction. But it's locked. So she says it should still be unlocked, but it's locked, so... Eureka! There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is the door locked tight? Oh, you know what? You're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. Yeah, he must have swapped the numbers and the basketball thingy. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? By using my big brain. And not losing our health bar. There's no prints on the doorknob. Prints on the master key would tell us nothing. Prints on the number plate, there we go. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? That was wrong? I thought I was being clever there. So then it's the doorknob. Because we know her prints will be on the key. I'm glad we don't have to blow into the mic to dust for fingerprints like we did in the previous games. You literally had to blow into the Nintendo DS mic, so I had to connect my mic to the emulator so that I could blow. Which is a really cool mechanic, actually. So, I have found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. Okay. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. I think I've been trying to be too far ahead of the game here in thinking about swapping the number plates. Whose prints should be also on this doorknob? Well, Bert's. But okay, yeah, Bert's. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes. The door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Okay. Ah. Wait, that was not there before, come on. Sometimes I get carried away when I think about knobs too much. Brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the... Why does my emulator keep doing that? Just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. I think someone's misled Buddy into going into the wrong room. He thought he was gathering evidence from... Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, and I might be wrong. These games may seem simple, but there's so many twists and turns into them. Your expectations can so easily be subverted, and there's so many red herrings. Since I finished The Witness, I've played another 3 hours tracking down extra puzzles. Oh, really? Nice. Did you ever find the cinema? There's a cinema somewhere on the island where there's a movie in it, which is a really strange movie. I can't remember where it is. There's like a few puzzles that you need to unlock to open the entrance to it. Examine the ball. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it would be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective. I have, under the windmill. I think I found 3 of the notes for it too. I have an idea there's another one behind a tricky door on the beach. So you've seen the movie? The one with the guy with the what was it? The candle? I never really figured out what to do with that. It was very odd. But I watched the whole thing. I should revisit The Witness. I mean, I've still got my cloud save on Epic Games, so I should be able to continue where I left off. And I could use Paint for paint graphics. The part of it, the middle, I think. There are a few puzzles in that room I didn't finish. Okay. So we got knobs and balls. I know the number plate is gonna come up somehow, but I don't think he's ready to take that into evidence. Paint and OBS is so helpful. Be tempted to open them again for my off-stream playing. Yeah, because I bought that tablet as well for like £10 from CEX that I was going to use for something like that. I was going to try it. I was actually also going to use it to try, because you know the kids are having their GCSEs next week, aren't they? Well, at least they start next week. I was going to try redoing GCSEs. Like, I don't know, maths and science papers, and see how much has changed and how much I remember. Like, I would stream it and use the pen to, I don't know, annotate a PDF or something, and then mark it myself. I think that would be interesting. Like, I think the only topic I would be able to still ace would be maths. Everything else, even physics, I would probably fail. And they have computer science in schools now. That was, I mean, programming is my specialty, so I would hope that I pass computer science, but then in GCSEs you get taught a lot of things that you never actually use in the real world. Lots of really GCSE specific terminology that you never hear again. Like circle theorems in mathematics. You had those theorems with the circles and like alternating segment theorem or something. I did a whole like 8 years of studying maths in university. Circle theorems never came up. Bloody circle theorems. And I don't know the circle theorems either, so I actually might struggle with those. I don't think I'm done with this door. Did I look at everything? So we've got the note. But this, I mean, I can't really do anything with this note right now. Okay, we should look at our door. Yeah, let's check out these knobs. Polish the knobs. Dust them. Okay, it was cleaned. Yeah, they told us that before. The number plates. I know there's something to do with the number plates. It's not time. These number plates slide right out, so yeah, exactly, Gumshoe. Yes, continue that thought, Edgeworth. No, we can't do anything with the door. This means nothing to her. Unless we ask her if she saw this note on the floor, but she won't. No, she won't. Prints were not found on the doorknob. Interesting. Present that. I've had to open Mr. Portsman's office up for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions, too. It's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it. Well, she didn't go in. Did she go in? Because if she went in, she'd know it wasn't his office, because she knows that he has sports stuff. To the point where it's almost beyond gaudy. Gaudy? I don't know that word, gaudy. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous, since I don't even have a single one. Yeah. Well, we didn't get anything out of that, but... What do we do now? Talk to Gumshoe? Damn it. These are the detectives. They're supposed to be doing this. Why? I'm a lawyer. Jim. The detective in... Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, ouch, Edgeworth. Alright, I don't know what I should be doing now. Look at this again. Oh, we've done that. No. I'm pretty sure I've searched this fully. It's locked, right? Is that what they said? Yeah, it's locked. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? Indentation. It's been moved. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. Yes, 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 we're onto something. Our health bar gets filled up. That's good. How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. Who'd... I mean, there's literally only other one person that's been introduced in the game. And it's Portsman, so... The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it! That's exactly what my logic sensors were telling me too! Sure you did, Gumshoe. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. But wait, this is a problem because he's the prosecutor being assigned to this case. So he's going to prosecute us. We're going to be the defendant, not prosecutor. Okay, looking good. You there. Take good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. To be fair, we haven't actually really found that much evidence against him, to be honest. We haven't found anything against him. Okay, it could have been coincidence that he happened to call the security guard up to open his door. But there's nothing decisive. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Haha, who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? Don't say his name! The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years until we came along. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Wait, wasn't he our father? Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me because they won't work? No, he wasn't our father, he was our mentor. The only thing you should be... What's with the slowdowns? It's really annoying. Let me close a couple of things. Close Discord. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. But aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Round 3. Fight! We're doing it right here in the room? Okay. Okay. To pay attention carefully. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? With the master key. Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? Evidence. Alright, I think I know what to do here. We just show him the key. Objection! Is that the first objection of the game? think it's only a matter of time before someone makes an Ace Attorney version of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. True. Precisely, you were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. He's sweating. You're gonna need a bigger sweatband. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah? I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? Exclamation mark? What? Why is she standing with him? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? Certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if you had misled her? To fool her into thinking what you wanted? And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. Basketball hoop. To be honest, this is all kind of deceptively easy. There's going to be some twist or something. Probably when we get to trial. It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. Okay, that. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Ah. That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Off the racetrack? Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. Okay. We think that statement is false. After that, I was in my room the entire time. Probably false too. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Oh. Well, we think that's false. Using the master key, of course. But her prints were not on the knob. Oh, that's the contradiction right there. Objection! There was actually a feature on the DS that you could yell objection into the mic and it would actually count as objection. Actually, I mean, this is the DS game on an emulator, so it should still work. But I haven't set up a mic for it. But yeah, you can just yell objection, or you might have to press a button and then yell objection. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Huh? What for? I just said, for prints. Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. Well, you'd win that bet. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Ah, logic! Further, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Spur's fingerprints were on it. But it doesn't change the fact that I was in my room the entire time. Is that really a fact? Or is it fiction? Hey, would I lie to you? I don't know, I've never met you before. I have here proof that you were not in your room the entire time as you claim. Do I? The note? What does the note say again? But it looks like you're out. Being the operative phrase there. Oh, the music is getting tenser. This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. ... You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Ah, he's filling in the gaps for me. I wasn't clear on why Buddy was there. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. But wait. At the beginning of the game, Edgeworth listened to his voice. Surely he could tell whose voice it was, or at least he could match the voice to his voice now. Unless he was disguising his voice, I don't think he was then. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Here it comes. Are we getting the breakdown yet? No. Sometimes you think they're about to break down, and then suddenly they come up with a piece of evidence that clears them. Just what's so funny, pal? Oh no. He's got something. Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. Why? Eh? I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. Oh my god. So the prints found were just his and Buddy's. I mean, that checks out. If that's what he's claiming. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. So much talk of knobs in this game. Which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. He probably did, but as the way this game normally goes, he's got us there. Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Then why didn't you pick up the note? Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. But you can't prove that, can you? He's got us. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Oh, great. He's probably helping us by giving his alibi, because his alibi is probably easy to crumble. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 AM, correct? 2:05, but yes. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprits. Did we tell anyone about that? We probably did, yeah. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Don't say it like that. The perfect alibi. That's super suspicious. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like to see for yourself. Maybe I will. Damn it. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsmouth said. Guys down on criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 AM. But it happened at 2:05. 5 minutes is enough time. Well, you see? Okay, fine. It was 2. It was then that you had that unfortunate. It is, as you say. However... Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? Why didn't I turn around? Why didn't I look at the person's face? I was always had my back to him. It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Hmm. Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? What are you doing, Portsman? You're giving away that you knew what happened in that room. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. At exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. So you paid the criminal affairs department a visit? Yep. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. That was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you around at that time. See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. He's so fishy. You there. Oh no, he's gonna get them to arrest us. No, he's still pinning it on Maggie. Okay, they're gonna arrest Maggie. Maybe he's right. Maybe he wasn't in the room. Connect my thoughts. I think these two. So I think Mr. Portsman is actually onto something here. What is? I think the second person, the one who held us at gunpoint, was a different person, and that would explain why the files were ransacked twice. Evidence points to the shelves being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who is to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. And this person had a gun. Another gun, which we still haven't found yet. He's probably taken it with him. If indeed there were two culprits, then that resolves the contradiction behind our murder weapon. Despite the fact that there are two bullets here in this room, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, leaving the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, wait, which bullet came from which gun though? That's pretty important, but we haven't figured that out. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back, then that would match. Then the ballistics would show that that's the one which shot the wall. Objection! Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? Sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean 2?
Explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. He's guilty of something, but... Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So I think it was Portsman who was the thief.
So then, this would be when the files are put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Oh, he is sweating. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another?
Visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, as it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir?
So is the thief not a bit concerned that there was a dead body in the room? Or did they think I was just keeping it in my room as evidence? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave when the firelight appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets? It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman?
The person I met was just a thief and was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. I mean, everything he said before still holds up, doesn't it? We still don't have anything pinning him to it. The alibi wasn't the important point. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. But that's not the thing we have to prove, is it? Well, it is. Yeah, it is. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Why are we doing this in this room? Why are we not doing this in the courtroom? Nobody's transcripting this. That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, shouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? Sort of agreed, I guess. We should be out looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. We're gonna prove that he was here. They might still be nearby. Well, that's true. Because if we think it's him, no. Wait, what do we think? We think he's the murderer and then the thief came after. Okay. Is that what we think? I'm not even sure now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the thief came after, for sure.
They could be nearby. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Or what's that thing about people returning to the scene of a crime? Well, that doesn't apply to thieves, probably. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Interesting, because he's right. They didn't get what they were after. The only thing they took from the room was that file, which they then stuffed under the sofa in the hallway. Our safe is empty, so even if they opened the safe, they wouldn't have found anything. Maybe this is the piece of testimony we have to contradict. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. No, wait a minute. That happened later, and the note references the evidence. So that can't have happened later. He brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant, that are related to yesterday's case. Wait. That gun was the evidence he brought, okay. Why was it loaded? If it's evidence, is that normal? I don't think it's normal to keep guns loaded if they're evidence. So dangerous. Especially with revolvers. Revolvers aren't particularly safe, are they? That's why it's always recommended to not have a bullet in the chamber with revolvers. And this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Then why do you know so much? Do we think this... You brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant that relates to yesterday's case. But... Issued. This was issued to him. Is that a contradiction? Maybe? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Oh! The note said 3 items, not 2 items. Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece. I think you should read carefully. You can't just force a search on him. He has to be arrested. And... You can't... Okay, we're doing that. The tape. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. But why would you hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Oh, he's sweating. Come on. Let's play this videotape. KG8. Where have I heard that KG8 before? One of the previous cases. Well, there's blood on it. That's pretty damning evidence. But it's... oh, there's going to be a twist. It's probably not going to be the victim's blood. I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible. He just swallowed his gold medal. Is he dead? What the? He just swallowed his medal. What? Okay. Mr. Portsmouth has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. Still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. Are we not going to get to do the courtroom for this case? That's the best bit. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office.
Please accept my apologies. Oh, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Too true, that. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumours about how some of the evidence he used is forged, sir. And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, we need to know. There's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Oh no. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. Huh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? Well, we still don't know who the thief was, do we? Only that he was the killer. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card? What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? Is that a phoenix? It's not just any bird. Oh, it's a raven. I thought it was going to be a phoenix. It is the mark of the raven, a three-legged raven. It's weird. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about. Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Slinky! Got him. Well, we haven't got the thief. Were you watching, or have you just arrived? It looks like I've just finished this case, but... Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. No, but the thief tricked you into thinking it was a phoenix. Well, look, he has Phoenix's hairstyle. Maybe after the last games, Phoenix went rogue. Yatagarasu. I don't know, it looks like it's an anagram of something. Probably not. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Well, we noticed this one. Write Anything Agency, now addressing income inequality. Is this game... When is the timeline for this game? I suppose it's after the first trilogy, but maybe before Apollo Justice? Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media. Along with this single card. Although, it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. Location of the stolen files? The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. The end. Well, that's Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth Investigations. Are we gonna? Is the next case gonna be 2 days ago then? I'm not gonna start it now. Turnabout Airlines. Turnabout Visitor. What is? I don't get it. What is the obsession with this word turnabout? I'm not even clear on what it means. What it means, like literally, like something that turns around, right? Like a twist. Do they always use the word turnabout because there's always twists, or is there some deeper meaning to turnabout? Or was it a translation from something in Japanese and it's just they chose that word? So when a case gets flipped, yeah. Is that really the only reason they use it? I feel like there's something more to the reason they use this word, but maybe. How many episodes are there? Actually, I don't really want to know. I'll find out. Okay. Yeah, it's because of the case always defying expectations. I suppose so, yeah. Let me just make a quick save as well. How long did that take me? 3.5 hours? That's quite long for a game where we didn't even get to the courtroom. I hope we get to the courtroom in this game. Alright then, I guess I'm done. So yeah, I'll carry on maybe in 2 or 3 days' time. What time is it now? It's only 2 a.m. I could play something else, but maybe in 15 minutes. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by, Slinky. And Fallen Thespian, if you're still here, and Four Fox, and Bad for Beans. I haven't played this since 2010. I think that's around when I even started the first game. So I've been slowly playing through these over the period of a decade. It's really slow. At this rate, I'm never going to get to the end of them. I've got to play the Professor Layton ones as well, and then I've got to play the crossover. And they're not short. You always think they're going to be short when you come into these games, and they always take a long time.
Yeah. All right. Well, see you later.